We've always taken the big fights. The NACA goal is to set a standard for the country. But if you're going to be out there fighting the financial predators, you got to take on the big ones. You can't take the easy road. Well, that sends a message to the institutions out there that says, when NACA takes you on, we're going to do whatever it takes to win.
When you own a piece of the rock, when you own your neighborhood, you rise up and drive the parasites out because you have that power. We have that power.
NACA was the first to spearhead campaigns against predatory lenders. It coined the term predatory lending. Lenders set up borrowers to fail through high interest rates, outrageous fees, and unreasonable terms. Whether it's called loan sharking, subprime lending, or payday lending, the fundamental issue remains the same: the taking from working people and minorities to benefit the wealthy. This is a continuation and expansion of the wealth disparity gap.
How many of you are ready to take the blood-sucking profiteers on? How many of you are down for the fight?
The first target was the largest and most aggressive predatory lender, Fleet Bank. They cut off credit to minority communities while providing lines of credit to loan sharks.
We're staying here to meet with
No, you're not staying here to meet with
Well, then you're going to have to arrest us.
In Georgia, where Fleet Finance is based, more than 20,000 borrowers think those sales look more like fins, the fins of loan sharks.
There really were substantial abuses within the industry which wound up causing people to lose their homes for no legitimate reason.
It is a wake-up call to Congress.
This nationwide battle took 4.5 years. It included demonstrations and confrontations wherever Fleet was active. We won the war.
It is welcome news for us that it's decided to embark on this program to commit $8 billion for community lending.
As part of the victory, Fleet not only pledges $8 billion to add to its community lending, but contributes millions to settle lawsuits and funds $140 million to establish NACA's Best in America mortgage program. NACA also convinced Congress to pass new legislation.
I have prepared legislation that will provide an important first step towards filling in the gaps in consumer protection. It's called the Home Ownership and Equity Protection Act of 1993.
The next target was Barnett Bank and its predatory subsidiary, Equicredit.
The group says it's a grassroots organization that uses persistence to force banks to change their lending practices. In Jacksonville, the bank they've targeted is Barnett.
We believe in confrontation. We believe in being at the banks wherever they go. We go to the analyst meetings. We go to their annual meeting. We go to where they make presentations. And we have a long attention span.
Barnett succumbs to the pressure. NACA exposes and changes Barnett's predatory subsidiary, Equicredit, and Barnett funds $20 million to the NACA mortgage. First Union was next. In 1995, it was one of the nation's largest lenders and one of the most racist.
He calls himself a bank terrorist, but he uses words, not bombs.
A protest is planned tomorrow against one of Charlotte's biggest banks, First Union.
First Union has some of the worst minority lending practices.
You check us out, you check us out. Fast Eddie!
Fast Eddie is First Union Chief Executive Ed Crutchfield, and he's getting a lot of attention.
Be fair, Eddie! We deserve equality!
These people say First Union stands out, and this battle is getting personal. First Union CEO Ed Crutchfield is on protesters' wanted flyers.
They don't respect working people because they want to lend to their own.
NACA forces First Union to lend to minority borrowers, and it funds $150 million to the NACA mortgage. CEO Ed Crutchfield, the target of the campaign, is personally impacted.
Tonight, a primetime investigation. It manufactures some of the most popular cars in America.
Ford, quality is job one.
But there's another side of the Ford Motor Company you may not know about.
Ford is absolutely a loan shark.
Ford is one of the largest money lenders in the country, and workers inside the company say it used aggressive tactics to put people into debt.
We'd say, what a sucker. Cha-ching. We just made the company some money.
They eat you up and they spit you out. That's Ford Motor Company.
A lot of people are getting fed up with Ford. In Atlanta, thousands packed a church to bear witness against the way they say Ford does business.
They have ripped off our community. They have stolen the wealth out of our neighborhood.
This man is also going after Ford. Bruce Marks, a community activist who has pressured corporations to make available more than $1 billion in low-cost mortgages.
Remember that name, Ford Motor Company? They're vicious. I have a loan with them, 2 in fact, and it's 24% interest. That's 24.
NACA is also victorious against Ford. It reduces interest rates for hundreds of thousands of borrowers, funds $100 million to the NACA mortgage, and divests the associates, then the country's largest finance company. While we won those battles, we recognized that the power of greedy lenders, investors, rating agencies, and others, supported by the government, created a predatory lending wave that could not be stopped. The mortgage and financial crisis was coming, since homebuyers were being lured into mortgages that were structured to fail. On September 12, 2000, Bruce Marks testified in Congress, warning lawmakers.
Without such controls, Fannie Mae...
Marks was one of the first to predict the crisis, which would have a devastating impact on homeowners and communities nationwide.
Participation in these schemes by the GSEs poses potential risk for the housing and banking industry and for the economy in general.
By 2000, Mark's prediction came true. Millions of people were unable to make their monthly payments and were at risk of foreclosure.
Well, predatory lending has come back with a vengeance.
On August 23, 2007, at the National Press Club in D.C., NACA announces a campaign against Countrywide.
We're back. And now the fight is going after the biggest player out there, and that is Countrywide Financial.
At the time, it was considered untouchable and the gold standard in lending.
They're demanding Countrywide save face and their homes by rewriting mortgages.
NACA got what it demanded. Countrywide signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Countrywide participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages. NACA's next target, Bear Stearns.
The chant Main Street, not Wall Street. Angry homeowners today storming the Bear Stearns building in Manhattan.
Let's make sure that they hear us. Let's spread out, and we're staying.
The government is going to do anything. Bail out working women and men who worked hard to buy their homes and to provide a roof over the head of their families.
It's an unprecedented giveaway of taxpayers' money. Why should our hard-earned money be used to benefit and subsidize the people that created the mortgage crisis?
Bear Stearns signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Bear Stearns participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages. The backbone of NACA's aggressive nonviolent advocacy is to hold the decision-makers personally responsible for their actions.
We want her! We want her! We want her! We want her!
Herb Allison, CEO of Fannie Mae, which sets the industry standard for lending, was confronted by NACA as we blocked their main entrance.
Look us in the eye. Don't look at your bottom line. Look us in the eye and see what you've done. And we're going to make you responsible for what you've done. And you're going to bring some solutions to the table. That's right.
Fannie Mae signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Fannie Mae participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages.
They are on the verge of losing their own homes, so they decided to move in here. This is the Greenwich, Connecticut home of William Fry, a hedge fund manager who is trying to stop people from renegotiating subprime mortgages and avoiding foreclosure. Fry is suing Bank of America to keep it from issuing these new affordable loans to owners in need.
We work hard to buy these homes, and then we got tricked into these predatory loans, and now we can't afford them, and they don't want to help us.
And the lenders say they don't want to modify loans because they're afraid of being sued by Bill Fry. Well, we say Bill Fry needs to be afraid that people know where he lives.
Bill Fry's lawsuit fails. He stops his advocacy against homeowners.
They're causing financial violence on us. Right. So it's important that we see where the predators live. This is John Mack's house. Yeah! John Mack, he is the CEO of Morgan Stanley. They own Saxon Mortgage, and Saxon Mortgage services hundreds of thousands of mortgages, and they refuse to restructure those mortgages to make them affordable over the long term. We're going to do a picket line around his house. Let's go, yeah, around the house. We are NACA! We are NACA! Come on, NACA! We're fucking NACA. Too small. Everywhere we go! Everywhere we go! Carry, go that way. Carry, go.
They see who we are now. They know who we are.
They've seen who we are. They know who we are. It's almost like, take a look at me. I'm your problem now.
I get a call on my cell phone 20 minutes later that we want to work this thing out.
This is like the rise of the proletariat. We've seen this before historically, but certainly not recently in our country.
Well, what it says that we were disciplined and organized, and we pierced that veil. We pierced that comfort level that they have. But $400 million buys them privacy. No longer.
Saxon Mortgage signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Saxon participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages.
They got the money, but they're not giving it to the people.
Martin Luther King would have stood up for something. Jesus stood up for something. We got to stand up for something.
The message, and then we're going to go to Wall Street, okay?
Chase Bank signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Chase participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages. With legally binding agreements with all the major lenders and investors, NACA did what no one else thought possible. We organized massive events at convention centers nationwide, providing same-day solutions for homeowners with unaffordable mortgages.
So what I do is I take your mortgage payment and I reduce it by the total deficit that you have.
These events, taking place over at least 5 days each, attracted tens of thousands of homeowners at risk of foreclosure. At each event, NACA counselors teamed up with lenders who had hundreds of staff on site to provide affordable solutions.
It's a good thing for the banks. We do the work for them. It's a win-win situation.
Saving homes and saving lives.
It's a last-ditch effort for hundreds of homeowners on the verge of foreclosure.
More than 1,000 people wait in line downtown in hopes they can save their homes.
Hundreds of thousands of people fighting to keep their homes from foreclosure. It's become a nearly insurmountable challenge.
You can see there are thousands of people. They're expecting tens of thousands of people here to get their mortgage.
Dozens of people are spending the night outside in the cold and rain, hoping to hold on to their homes. This is a lot.
And camped out in order to guarantee their spot in line.
Losing their homes. Thousands pleading with bankers today, hoping to catch a break.
You see people from different walks of life, all in the same predicament.
Across the country are converging on South Florida. They're looking for help to stay in their homes.
Very clear picture of the level of strain and suffering the foreclosure crisis is creating for families. Look no further than Daly City.
For a moment, we are inside the convention center where the NACA...
This could be the last chance of saving the place they live.
This facility is packed with people looking to refinance their mortgage and save.
Wow, Diana, Look at that crowd behind you.
It's unbelievable, Michelle.
Just take a look around. Look at it. Friday night, what are you doing? Look at what these people are doing, and they will probably
This is just the first stop for what is really a mobile servicing center. Plans are being made to take it on the road across the country.
This is the devastation that these banks have caused. No one should have to be sleeping here overnight, staying 24, 48 hours just to save their homes. And everybody who's tried to work with the banks has failed. And this is the consequence. This is like a war zone, and it's a war zone in America.
Despite the opposition from government and others, the results were extraordinary. Over the 144 Save the Dream events, more than 250,000 homeowners at risk of foreclosure obtained affordable same-day solutions, and many more obtained modifications through NACA's Home Save program. Homeowners were able to reduce their interest rate to as low as 2% and sometimes lower their outstanding principal, saving hundreds and often more than $1,000 in their monthly mortgage payments.
Our mortgage was $4,200, it's now $2,100, saving me $1,000 a month.
My monthly payment has been reduced $3,000. It's amazing. Thank you.
They brought our interest rate down from 10% to 2%. We're saving $1,100 a month on our loan.
If it wasn't for NACA, I won't be this happy today.
My mortgage payment used to be $2,235, and now they lowered it to $1,309. And you guys just hold on. There is help and there is hope at the end of the rainbow.
There is a CRA protester who spends 4 years harassing a bank and a bank's president. Finally, the bank craters and gives them $1.4 million, gives them $200,000 to set up their organization. They now got 20 offices, lending $3.5 billion.
A decade later, NACA has more than 50 offices nationwide, and major lenders have committed more than $13 billion. We provide the best mortgage in America. No down payment, no closing cost, no perfect credit, and always at a below market fixed rate.
My interest rate is 2.75. I bought it down by 1%, and my monthly payment is $1,132.
My interest rate is 1.75%. I pay $628 a month.
Brought down my interest rate to 2.875, and my payment is $675 a month.
The interest rate is 1.75, and my payment is $902.
Interest half of percent, and I paying $710 a month.
I have an interest rate 0.87, and I pay $580.
My interest rate was 3.5. I pay $686 a month.
NACA is absolutely the real deal.
I have a mortgage payment of $615. Being this young and going in on a house purchase by myself, I didn't think that was possible, but NACA is truly amazing.
I've been in America for 10 years now, and this is probably the first American dream I've experienced.
I really did get my dream home. It was everything. Thank you.
Bank of America has been our largest partner over more than 20 years. In 1995, it committed $500 million to the NACA mortgage. 4 years later, $3 billion. Another $3 billion 4 years after that, and in 2011, it raised their commitment to $3.5 billion. In total, $10 billion to help minority and low-income borrowers afford homes.
By identifying qualified applicants, giving them the financial management skills they need, and creating a financial safety net for those who need a little help in crisis, that the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America was just the partner I was looking for.
Loan amount $252. My mortgage payment is $1,250, and just in a year's time, the value of the house has gone up to $340 already. My loan is $200,000. My interest rate is 2%, and my mortgage payments is $0. I own a duplex, and my other renter is covering my costs.
NACA has built the strongest foundation in the mortgage industry for lending to low and moderate income borrowers. We've added a 15-year mortgage that allows you to build wealth quickly.
0.05 interest rate for 15 years. It's a blessing. It's fantastic.
Another program allows Section 8 participants to use their Section 8 rental payments as mortgage payments. Called HOT PHA, it provides unprecedented homeownership opportunities. NACA continues to develop its state-of-the-art operations with a streamlined mortgage process. There's much more to come as we expand these programs and develop additional financial services products for working people.
I think people will take more pride in the community because it's their property.
This is hope. This is light at the end of the tunnel.
NACA believes in the principle that we are thy brother's keeper. Over the past 30 years, we've won the battles, and together we will continue to win the fight for economic justice. With more than 2 million members, we are a unique and powerful force as we act to make fundamental changes for working people.
And you're not just a house on bricks, you're actually a human being. I can go home and say I have a home thanks to NACA.
We require people to volunteer
You need to see a counselor? Just a minute. Let me see if I can get someone for you.
in whatever way they feel comfortable.
Be part of the demonstrations, helping out at a Save the Dream event, helping in our offices, helping getting the word out.
There is no fight that is too big or too small, that together we cannot win.
Neighborhood Assistant Cooperation of America is one of the greatest home buying programs there is.
Because it can really change the course of your life, the course of the life that you create for your family. Greatest program in America, honestly.
The doors of NACA are open for you. Go next week, make an appointment, I'll get you home.
Welcome to the NACA family.
Let it shine for NACA. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine for NACA. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
All right. What do we think about the video? Awesome. Did we learn a lot? Yes. Were we paying attention? Yes. Okay. So we're going to do this a little different. Daryl has already touched on things that's going to be pertaining to the presentation. So I wanted to make sure that you're paying attention, so I'm going to be asking you some questions. Is that okay? All right, everybody awake. Y'all here? Y'all here? All right. And again, good morning. Welcome, everyone. For those of you that have just come in, welcome to NACA's qualification workshop. And we're going to get the slide back on the screen in just a second. While we wait on the slide, by a show of hands, how many of this is your first time hearing of NACA? Okay, quite a few. How many of you already heard of NACA? All right. Who wants to tell me what they like about NACA so far? They help you budget. What else? They fight for the people. Yes, we do. Day in and day out. Endless hours in the office. Anybody else? That's it? Oh, yep. Yes, we do guide you through the whole process from start to finish. All right, you can go ahead. Next slide. Okay, here we go. All right. So again, this is the NACA qualification workshop. All questions are welcome. However, I want you to ask general questions. If it's something specific pertaining to your situation, I want you to pull one of the counselors to the side so that we can talk you through it. I don't want you to disclose any of your personal information in a large setting like this. Okay? Understood? All right, all right. So now, this number is your lifeline. You want to jot it down. You want to save it in your phone. It is 425-602-6222. That is the number for member services. You will call this number if you have any questions after today. You will call this number if you can't get in contact with your counselor. You will call this number if you need anything in general. Again, 425-602-6222. I call this your lifeline number. All right? Again, I want this to be interactive. It can get kind of lengthy. Some of you are going to fall asleep. Your head's going to start nodding, right? So I want you guys to be, enjoy the webinar, ask questions, be here with me, right? So again, we're going to have fun, lots and lots of fun. You can go to the next slide. So in today's webinar or workshop, we're going to cover the NACA overview. We're going to cover the mortgage side of NACA. The real estate department is going to come up and present their portion of NACA. We're going to cover budgeting, right? The mortgage payment, how we calculate your affordable monthly mortgage payment, the 2 types of NACA members that we have, the NACA qualification, what it takes to be NACA qualified, your member participation, and an overview of how to upload your documents through your member portal. So again, I want you guys to ask questions. The more you know, the better prepared you are. Sounds good? Sounds good? Y'all gotta be here. All right. So again, I see most of you have notepads, which is great. Take notes. Take lots of notes. Right? Because again, this is going to be a lot of information thrown at you. You may even forget over half of it. I'm just being honest. But if you take notes, you will be prepared. You can go to the next slide. And the next slide. And the next slide after that. All right, so any of you thinking about switching states? Got a handful of you. All right, so again, NACA is in all 50 states. So you're just not tied to North Carolina. You can purchase wherever you like. However, there are some stipulations. Well, I'm glad you asked what the stipulations are, right? I'm glad you asked. So 1, you have to have income. So your job has to be transferable, or you have to have a job in that state, right? And then you have to be able to travel to that state to find a house. So those are the 2 main things when switching states. 1, you have to have income lined up, and then you have to be able to travel to that state to find your house. Everybody got that? All right, we can go to the next slide. Now, as you've seen in the video, NACA has been around for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, NACA is older than me, right? NACA is older than me. Again, I've been here for 4 years, so even though most of you have or have not heard of NACA, we have been in the fight for economic justice for a very long time. That is our sole mission, making sure that everyone has the opportunity to purchase a home, whether it's their first home or purchase another home. And the cool thing about NACA, or our CEO, in fact, he was the first person to coin the term predatory lending. So again, we have been around a long time in the fight, making sure that, again, everybody has access to affordable home ownership, making sure that they get certified HUD counseling, making sure they know the ins and outs of being a homeowner and what it actually takes to not only get your home, but to stay in your home. It's easy to get a home, so to speak, but you have to make sure that you also set yourself up for success to actually keep your home, right? So again, we want to make sure we continue to advocate for you all and set the national standard so that all lending institutions follow the example of NACA. You can go to the next slide. All right, so how many of you are familiar with the banking crisis of 2008? Some of you. All right. This was when the mortgage industry was crashing, banks was crashing, people were losing their homes left and right, foreclosures was on the rise. So NACA's sole mission is to make sure, again, that that doesn't happen again, right? Again, that you know the ins and outs of being a home ownership. Like I just said, it's easy to get a home, but now once you get it, you have to keep it. And we want to make sure that you keep your home, which is why we do HUD counseling first. So as Daryl mentioned, we are a HUD counseling agency first before the mortgage part. So you have to get through counseling first to make sure, again, you are prepared, and then comes the fun part of the mortgage process. Make sense? Everybody got it? All right, so again, all of your NACA staff is HUD approved. We have been through rigorous training. Some of us, it was crying tears trying to pass that test because it was hard. So again, all of us are HUD counseling, or HUD approved counseling agency. And again, we are relentless in our track records. Again, we spend countless hours in the office fighting for you guys, fighting with underwriting to get you qualified just so that you're able to purchase your home. You can go to the next slide. So now, all of our services are free to you as NACA members. But guess what? You have to be a NACA member to get free services, right? So again, as long as you are a NACA member, all of our services are free, but I do want you to jot this down. There is a membership fee of $36 every calendar year that you stay in the program, per family. Yes, it's not per person, it's per family, $36. Jot that down. Then you have to pay for a credit report fee, which is $7.50. But these are individual. So whoever is going on the loan, we have to pull their credit. Even if you are a household member over the age of 21, we have to pull their credit. Why? Their debts affect you. We're all in the household. It all goes together. So all household debt affects what? All household debt affects what? The household. All right? So yes, again, membership fee is how much? How often? Per? All right. Credit report fee is how much? Per? All right. I like this. Next slide, please. Now, we have tons of departments here at NACA, and more than likely you'll go through majority of them. So counseling and operations consists of all of your NACA counselors. It consists of our management team. The mortgage department consists of your mortgage specialists, aka your underwriters, people that actually have to approve your file, because some of us don't have automatic underwriting. Your real estate department, which consists of our real estate agents and their director. Home and neighborhood department, aka HAN, that's those acronyms again. So this is a department that takes care of your home inspection. Well, technically your home inspection goes to this department. So they review the home inspection, tell you what is required and what is recommended. Then you have member services. Again, this is your Lifeline department. If you have any questions about anything, you'll contact that department. Our Home Save department helps out non-NACA members that need to do loan modifications or get back on track. And then we have our Advocacy department that keeps track of your participation. So these are all the departments that we have here at NACA. You can go to the next slide. Now, are there any questions so far? Any questions? Going once? Going twice? All right, so we are always hiring. So if you know of someone that know of someone that know of someone that needs a job, we are always hiring. We never stop hiring. Got you in a minute. I came in during the pandemic when people were doing more laying off than hiring, and I've been here 4 years. Just a little overview about my job. It is stressful, but rewarding. You will work long hours, but there's amazing benefits. So again, we have lots of job opportunities. If you go to NACA.com/careers, you can see all the positions that we have. Make sure you read. The requirements is in the description. That's going to tell you if it's fit for you or not. All right. Yes. No. He was asking about income restrictions. You can go to the next slide. All right, so NACA family, what makes NACA the best of the best? Somebody tell me. No down payment. All right, what else? No closing costs. What else? No points or fees. What else we got? What else? Do we know what mortgage insurance is or what it's for? Has anybody ever heard of PMI? Because I've seen some of y'all have bought houses before. So my homeowners that bought houses before, can someone tell me what PMI is? What does it do? It definitely adds to the mortgage amount. What else do it do? Yes, it protects the lender in case you default. And therefore, we do not have no mortgage insurance here. However, you do have to have homeowners insurance. I'll write that down because we get asked that a lot. So there is no PMI, but you do have to have homeowners insurance. Yes, sir. Yes, it does. So his question was, does your home insurance is added into your payment? Yes, it's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Yes, you can. Yes. All right, next slide. You can go to the next slide. All right. So, what are the other benefits of NACA? No settlement fees, no appraisal costs. What else? It's on the slide. What else? Right? No closing costs, no document fees, no origination fees. So guess who pays all of this for you? The who? Yes, your lender pays all of your closing costs. So just by going through NACA, you're already saving tons of money. Because as we know, once you add these fees into your loan, now it can become unaffordable. Or now you need more money than what you have. Right? And guess who the lender is? Does anybody know who's NACA lender? Bank of America. So Bank of America pays all of your closing costs for you. How awesome is that? Absolutely. Yes. So we only use one bank, and that is Bank of America. Now, you do not have to be a member of Bank of America, but that's just the only one that we use. Questions, comments, concerns? We all good? Y'all still here? All right. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Does it get sold? No. Yes. Yes, so because Bank of America was predatory back then, right, we got them to come to an agreement to help out low to moderate income buyers. Yes. Any other questions before we move on? All right, next slide, please. So you can always find our below market fixed interest rate at NACA.com. Does anybody know what the rate is as of today? Anybody? So, the low to moderate income rate for today is a 6.875, and it changes. So your rate does not lock until you actually go under contract. The contract is then processed by your loan originator, and that is what locks in the rate between the times of 1 and 5. So while you're out housing searching, the rate can go up or down. It does not lock. But again, we only have one mortgage product, and that's conventional, and it is a fixed rate. And again, just to reiterate, Bank of America is our lender and also our largest partner. Questions? Yes. Yes, you can pick the terms. You can choose between a 30, 20, or 15. Most of you would choose a 30 only because the payment is a lot less than the 20 and the 15. Because you get less house because you're going to be mortgage free in half the time, which is the next slide. Yes. The interest rate is a 6.875. Yes, that is the below market fixed rate. They haven't changed the website. I got you. Let me do this. So that is the traditional rate, technically, the 6.875. But we also have a 1% below if you make a certain income, which is 5.875. So the standard rate is the 6, and then 1% below is 5. Depending on your income. Yes, ma'am. That's correct. Yes. Prepayment penalty? No. So yes, you can pay off your 30-year mortgage earlier without penalty. Absolutely. Yes. Who negotiates with the seller? Your real estate agent. Do I have input? Absolutely. Our agents do that all day long. Yes, you have to live in your house, yes, for as long as you have a NACA mortgage. But you can refinance and or sell it. But we're going to get to that. He asks, does the agents negotiate? Will they negotiate the price for him? All day long. That's what we train to do. Well, not we, but them. Yes, that's what they're trained to do. Yes. Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good point. So, and I meant to bring this up too, so thank you. I know we got excited because of the video with the interest rates with the 0.7s and the 3 points and the 5s, and COVID was a beautiful time to buy a house. The rates were low, 1s, 2s, 3s, and then they started slowly inching up once COVID started fading out, right? So, and that's one thing I really don't like about the video because it doesn't depict like right now, this time. So when you look at that video, you have to take it with a grain of salt, right? That was then, and now we gotta live in the now. Now, to get it down to even a 3, it takes a lot of money. I'm just gonna be honest. You can buy your interest rate down, But again, depending on what you're trying to get it down to, it takes money. And that's just being completely honest and transparent. Optional, you can do it if you have the funds. So, and we're going to touch on that again too. So that's my only disclaimer about the video. Those rates were way back when, and now we got to work with what we got now. Yes. Does the member pays the agent's fee? I think our agents is going to touch on that part. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes. Completely different. And we're going to get on that too. All right, so again, there are two types of members here at NACA. We have your low to moderate income buyers that make 100% or less of the median income for the area in which they're purchasing. And then we have our higher income earning members. Does anybody know what the median income is for Durham or Wake County? Let's start with Durham, since we're in Durham. What's the median income for Durham? Family. The median income per family household. Oh no, Durham went up a little bit. So the median income for Durham as of 2024 is $106,500. Yeah, $106,500 is the median income for Durham annually. So if you make at or below $106,500, you are considered low to moderate income buyer. Therefore, you get the 1% reduction in interest rate, which is technically a 5.875 as of today. Does anybody make over 106? And that can be combined income, that could be single. I got a few. So if you make over 106 individually or combined, then you start off with the highest interest rate, which is the 6.875. But you have the opportunity to get the 1% reduction if you purchase in a census tract that is 80% and below, which is called a targeted area. So again, the key difference between we changed it, low to moderate income buyers and our higher earning income members is simply just income. Where does your income lie within the tract percentage in which you're trying to purchase or the area in which you're trying to purchase? So for our low to moderate income buyers, sorry guys, I just changed this, this is new, fairly new, the terminology. If you are a priority member or low to moderate income buyer, you are free to purchase wherever you like without stipulations. But for our higher earning income members, you have to be careful where you purchase. However, being a higher earning income member, you can go up to 120% for the tract percentage, median income, but you'll just still get the highest interest rate, because he just changed that as well. It used to be 100%, now you can go all the way up to 120 to give you more opportunities to purchase. Yes. That's 6, yes. So you start off at 6, but you can go to 5 if you purchase in a census tract that is 80% and below. Not necessarily. Just the people in that area has to make 106 or below. And that'll change the tract percentage, basically. Yes. So at your intake session, you will find out if you are priority or non-priority, and then we'll tell you which interest rate you start off with. Yes. There was a hand over here. Yes. So many factors determine what the interest rate is, but it's pretty much your federal government the factors, whatever is going on in the world concerning the federal government, they determine what the interest rates are. It can change almost every week. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks, 3, or it can be consistent. It just depends, really and truly. Yep. Absolutely. NACA.com tells you what the interest rate is, and it updates daily if the rate changes. Yes. The website is your best friend. It's your secondary tool besides your counselor. Wake County went up, surprisingly. It is $122,300. So Durham went down and Wake County went up. And then if you're purchasing in the other counties beside Wake and Durham, we'll be able to tell you what the median income is. Yes. Hold on, because you all the way in the back and I can't hear. Hold on. Mm-hmm. So it'll be different depending on the area and the county, but we'll be able to tell you what it is. Yes. You can go to the next slide. All right, so this is what I was talking about, interest rate buy down. It is the most effective way in reducing your monthly mortgage payment while increasing your purchasing price. It is very specific depending on where you're trying to get the rate down to. You just can't go to 0. That's not possible anymore. However, if you're thinking about doing buy down, you will just let your counselor know. We'll talk it over to see how much you can buy the rate down to and how much it's going to cost. Because it's very specific. And you're limited to 5 to 6 points. But guess what? You can get grants. Durham has a grant for up to $80K as long as you meet the requirements. Greensboro has a grant. Winston-Salem, High Point, Fayetteville, Charlotte. There's different grant programs out there that you can use to buy down the interest rates as long as you meet the requirements. You can also use your savings. You can use your 401k. You can get gifts from your family members if they like us enough, right? It just can't come from a business account, right? And the sellers, your sellers can also give you money. We like that. Builders can give you money. We like that a lot. Right? So you can use different tools to buy down the interest rate if that's something that you want to do. Yes, ma'am. I've done some research about different programs that they offer for disability and low income. How would that into buy downs, or would it? It will. So basically, if you find the grants on your own, you just have to present it to us so that we can research it so we can figure out how to apply it to your loan. Mm-hmm. North Carolina National Housing Finance Agency. They offer a lot of money, actually. However, we have attempted multiple times to get on the same page as them, and they just will not work with us. So you will find that NACA's willing to work with everybody. However, everybody's not willing to work with NACA and abide by their terms. But that's okay, because there's other assistance out there as well. You just got to find it. We got to communicate with them and then figure out how to apply it to your loan. Questions? Comments? All right, it's quiz time. So who can tell me what is the difference between low to moderate income buyers and higher earning income members? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So one gets the highest interest rate, one gets the lowest. But what's the big difference between the two? which translates to just how much they make, right? So the biggest difference between the two is simply income. Where does your income lie? That is very important. Very, very important. I will jot that down if I haven't already. All right, next slide. But first, another quiz. Who can tell me what is the number to your lifeline? Shout it out. All right. So now, the 15-year wealth, I'm glad y'all awake. Okay, 15-year wealth builder. It's called our Freedom Mortgage. Why? Because you're going to be mortgage-free in half the time. However, it's not the most fanciest because, again, you get a lower purchasing price and a higher payment because you're going to pay it off faster. Now, if that's something that you want to do, by all means, go for it, right? You could try it out. You could try out any of the terms, to be honest, but mostly you'll choose a 30, but you can do it, again, the same way, pay it down half the time, penalty-free. Questions? Comments? Concerns? Yep. Absolutely. It'll all take place at your intake session. Yes. No, you're penalty free. So you can do that. No fees associated for paying down your mortgage the same way you would do the 15. All right, next slide. So repairs and renovations. So with NACA, we allow you to purchase all types of homes as long as it's not like barn-dominiums, pyramids, domes, things of that nature. But you can do fixer-uppers. Now, fixer-uppers is not for the weak. Our realtors will tell you that. It's going to take a great deal of patience because you're going to be dealing with the hand department, and that's a whole different monster in itself. So you have to be mentally prepared to do a rehab. But you can do it as long as it's within your affordability, right? So if you have room in your mortgage, you can actually escrow your repairs into your loan. You will be mortgage-free for 6 months while your home is being renovated, because technically you can't live in it, right? So you'll be mortgage-free, but you do have the option to do a rehab, and the sellers can complete some of those repairs for you. It requires an initial home inspection, and then it also requires another inspection just to make sure that they did the repairs correctly. The last thing you want to do is buy a lemon after you already bought a lemon, right? So you don't want a double whammy. Next slide. Yes. No. So you will be mortgage-free for 6 months, but the repairs will be escrowed into your loan. Yes. Nope, you can find your own contractor. So what happens is once the inspector gives you a list of repairs, it's going to say required or recommended, and it's going to have some cost up there that looks outrageous. Like, no, next house, right? But no, you go to find your own contractor and ask them to price those repairs for you. Absolutely. Next slide, please. Oh, any other questions about rehabs, renovations? Can you do repairs? Do you have a license? Yes, you do. Yes. Escrow, so basically it's like a savings account for payments. Think of it as a savings account. It's going to be paid through the escrow account. So technically, there's a whole process before that. But our hand department will sign off on the license and when they can actually start working, and then it starts. And our real estate agents will touch on that as well. All right, refinance and rehabilitation. So this, outside of loan modifications, will be the only time NACA actually refinances, because technically we don't, right? But if you already own your home and you want to get like repairs done, especially if you're an older person and your home needs to be repaired to be back up to code and what have you, you can actually go through NACA to get those repairs done. Now, again, it's exactly what it is. It's a refinance, so you will be refinancing the repairs. You have to have been paying your mortgage on time, not a current NACA mortgage. And again, it has to do with structural, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, health improvements, and other major repairs. So it has to be something major. And again, if you already have a low interest rate and you just want to get repairs done, just be mindful that you are refinancing, so it will change your interest rate. Very important. Questions, comments, concerns? Yep. Basically, then like mold, termites, things of that nature. Yeah. Yes.
The interest rate that will go up will be the current.
What we have, yes. All right, next slide. By the way, how much is the membership fee? And credit report fee? Okay, just want to make sure y'all still here and y'all learning something. All right, types of properties. Somebody asked about types of properties previously. I think it was you. So single family, you got detached, attached, row houses, mobile homes. Manufactured homes and mobile homes is like one and the same. It has to be a double wide, affixed to real property. It cannot be moved, right? It cannot have like a car title. It has to be affixed to real property. House, gotta be a house. Now, multi-family. The guy in the video was like, you know, I got a multi-family and my renter is paying my other costs, this, that, and the third. Multi-families are harder to qualify. Why? Because now they have a higher default rate. You have to be able to manage your monthly mortgage payment by yourself if you do not have tenants. You can set the price or the payment, the rent, you know, after you close. But again, you have to make sure you have tenants. If you do not have tenants, you are responsible for all of it, the full payment, not just your portion, all of it. It requires a landlord training course that we provide for free. And you also have to have a little bit more money in the bank than a single family home. Do we know why? Expenses. Whose expenses? Whose expenses? Everybody's expenses. Your expenses, your tenant's expenses. If something breaks, who's responsible? You are, because you're the landlord. If something breaks in your property, who's responsible? You are, because it's your house, right? So you have to have a little bit more money in reserves when doing multifamily. You can do condos and co-ops. With condos, they have to be 50% owner occupied, meaning it has to be more homeowners than renters. You also have to make sure that the HOA is sound, that everybody is paying their HOA on time, right? You also have to be mindful how much that HOA costs, because guess what? It's an additional payment outside of your monthly mortgage payment. So you have your PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and then you have your HOA. Townhouses also come with HOA. Some single families come with HOA. So you have to be mindful when you're shopping what types of properties you're buying. You also can do mixed use, meaning there's residential up top and the commercial is down bottom. Again, requires a little bit more money, and it has to be 50% owner occupied. Questions, comments, concerns? Yes. You can use Section 8 housing vouchers. Yes. And you also have to live in at least one. So if you do a 2-unit, you can only rent out one. You cannot rent out the whole thing as long as NACA's name is attached to it. Any other questions? Yes. No. Because what we do is, once you find a house and it has the HOA, we put it in the mortgage calculator so you can see if it's affordable for you when we add it in there. So as long as it works, we're good. If you want to purchase on the HOA, by all means, I'm not here to stop you. But I am here to tell you if it's affordable for you or not. Does that answer your question? A little bit. Yeah. Definitely research. Always research. Any other questions? Okay, hold on. Yes. You want to notify NACA as soon as possible so we can make sure you don't lose your home, because that happens a lot. Anybody else? If it goes up, oh yeah, we good. We good. If it goes down, that's a problem. Anybody else? So mixed use, yes, the up. Yes. So technically, no. If you are doing a mixed use, it has to be 50% owner occupied upstairs, like the apartments or houses. Yes. Next slide, please. Anybody want to be a landlord? By show of hands, 1, 2. Okay, got a few. So, just a helpful hint. If you're thinking of being a landlord, I will try to qualify for a multifamily first, because you can always go from multifamily to single, but you can't go from single to multifamily because you'll have to requalify all over again. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. No, we can. All right. Oh, we let's switch slides. Next slide, please. All right. So, again, we want you to research. Research. Do your Googles, your MSNs, your Beams, right? Facebook. Facebook also has good information sometimes. But we want you to research to find out what mortgage product is best for you. There are tons of programs out there. Some of them just like ours, just being honest. You want to make sure that this is something that you are willing to commit to. You're going to put your soul, your all into this program. Because guess what? I'm going to do the same for you. But I need your full commitment, right? I work with you, you work with me, we get you qualified, right? But again, there's other conventional loans. There is non-traditional loans, such as adjustable rate mortgages. And then you have your government loans, FHA, VA, USDA. These are all types of programs that are out there. Again, we want you to choose what best fits you, your family, and your lifestyle. But since you're all in this room, right? We going with NACA? All right. I like it. Next slide, please. Now, by a show of hands, just what have been presented thus far, how many of you think NACA is too good to be true? Got a few. Y'all can be honest, right? Y'all can be honest. Why? Why do we think NACA is too good to be true? No closing costs. PMI. It's not based solely on your credit, right? What else? Why else do we think NACA could be a scam? We hear that a lot. Y'all are a scam. Y'all just trying to get people's money. Yes. Not yet. The unknown, I like that. The fear of the unknown. So, again, I'm here to tell you that, again, I've been here for 4 years, and I put in a lot of hard work, and I would not be here if NACA was not true, right? I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to be honest. As long, again, as you put in the work. For some of you, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a breeze. Y'all going to breeze right through it, right? But then there are some of you where you're going to feel like giving up because it's going to get real tedious. You're going to have to keep submitting documents. You may have to write a letter to explain why you did this transaction, why you sent somebody this money, why you did this, why you switched jobs. There's a whole lot of things that go into getting qualified for a mortgage. Like Daryl said, it's a big investment. We want to make sure you are prepared, right? So as long as you put the work in, you don't give up, your counselor works equally as hard for you as you're working for yourself, I promise you you'll get through the program. Next slide, please. Now, what step are we in? All right, we at the Home Buyer Workshop, ready to learn about NACA. And then we go to step number 2, which is the intake session, where we get all in your business, right? We get to ask questions. We get to see why you did this, why you did that, because it starts with us first. We are your first underwriters before we actually send it off to the real underwriter. Then there's step number 3, which is NACA qualification, right? That means we have deemed you worthy to go house shopping, and now you are qualified. So this is like our pre-approval. Then you have step number 4, which is purchase, workshop, and housing search. That's where y'all really want to be at, right? Y'all want to jump this step right here and go over to step number 4. It don't work like that. Step number 4 is the purchase workshop. You get to learn about the purchasing side of NACA, the mortgage side of NACA, the real estate side of NACA, hand, and a whole lot of other stuff that goes in between. Step number 5 is, what does that mean? We found a house, we're under contract, right? It's exciting. It can be until you get to the hand department. All right, and then step number 6 is the hand department. Step number 6 is your property condition, which means that is your what? Your home inspection. What is required, what is recommended, what is wrong with your property. Because what look good on the outside does not mean it's going to be the same once they get a hold of it and actually go through their entire house. All right, step number 7 is credit access and bank application, which means, oh, y'all went dead silent. This is the process before you get to the bank to, again, make sure you have maintained your qualification. Because some of y'all get too happy, right, that you're qualified, and then you go start doing, oh, my God, y'all start shopping already. Y'all start racking up debt when you're supposed to be decreasing debt. Y'all start spending money crazy. Oh, my gosh. So, yes, this is part before you get to the bank, and then you go to the bank. Now, step number 8 is, which means you're at the bank. You're now getting lender conditions, but from the bank, which I like. I'd rather deal with bank conditions any day. Step number 9 is, it's what? Which means we got the keys, we got the keys, we got the keys, right? We are happy. We're at the mortgage office, well, not mortgage office. We're at the NACA office at the table signing our bank documents. We're happy, we're smiling, we're taking pictures. We have now achieved NACA closing. And then last step is, which means you are volunteering. I'm glad you said that. Yes, you are volunteering. And also, if you need additional help after closing, if you're still working with the hand department and you need additional assistance, we are here all the way to the end and thereafter. So that's our 10-step process in a nutshell. Does everybody understand the 10-step process? All right. Do we got to go through it again? All right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you do new construction, you can. It is highly recommended that you do a home inspection, or the builder can give you a home warranty. But still, the way they put up these houses these days, you want to do a home inspection. All right, next slide. And again, we're in step number 1. And we going to step number 2 when? Tomorrow is Sunday and I am off. But if you complete your portal, right, you can schedule your appointment, and whatever is available, it could be Monday, or whatever is available on the calendar, you could be in step number 2 real soon. Real soon. That's our goal. Next slide. All right, now we're going to hear from our NACA members that have went through the process, that have closed. They're going to tell you what their interest rate is, a little bit about their process, and words of encouragement. So, who wants to go first? Oh, Miss Rachel! Yes! So, come up and introduce yourself and tell us about your process.
My name is Sonia Scott, and I am in the Pitt County area, and I just closed on my home on July 15th. Well, our home, my husband and I. It was a new construction and a 6% interest rate. We started the process at the Achieve the Dream event in Raleigh. And because it was a new construction, of course, it took a little while, so we were able to see the process of them building our home. Like they said, there's no closing costs. I think out of pocket, we had to put, of course, give the builders due diligence money to let them know that we were interested, so we gave them $1,500. We did do the inspection because there were some things found, even though it was a new construction, but small things. And we didn't have to go, well, we didn't have any issues with the hand department, so they were just recommended things, but we worked that out with the builders, and they pretty much fixed everything. And then, of course, the only other fees we had was our attorney fees and things of that sort. So we spent approximately $3,600 out of pocket. 1,481 square feet home. 3 bedrooms, huge yard, corner lot. So I live in a rural area. So it's not too good to be true. It is true. I will say sometimes as Nigel, and I should know her name by heart. As Nigel stated, sometimes it can be tedious, but it is worth it compared to the amount of money you would have spent going to someone else. So it is true, it does work, and it is worth it. Yes. And I will say that I probably had the best in-house NACA agent. And of course I'm going to be biased, but every time I text, Ebony was my real estate agent. It was good having her because, as you know, there are certain things that NACA requires that other real estate agents don't. So because she was an in-house agent, that really made the process a little bit smoother for us. But They are prompt with emails, responding. Of course, buying a house is not an easy process, whether you go through NACA or anyone else. So, but we did it. My purchase price was $247,000. $248,000. Let's just round it up. My mortgage payment is $1,728. We did not do a buy down, and of course that mortgage includes our homeowners insurance, our escrow money for homeowners insurance and taxes. So all of that is included in that payment. I see. Single family home, yes. I don't want to be a landlord. Every week, my husband and I went every Sunday. That was our routine. We would go by and look at the home every Sunday. Of course, until when they start putting appliances in and the doors were locked and we couldn't get in, but we still went just to look in the windows to see what was going on. So you can't really have access once they lock the doors, but any other time we went every Sunday just to see the progress of the home. Now that's a little too much. Yeah. And that's the purpose of your inspector, to go out and find those things for you. Yeah, we went weekly. We didn't go daily, but we did go weekly. Well, we started, and we actually got qualified at the Achieve the Dream event. But again, it was a new construction, so when they only had the foundation when we started that process. So like I said, that would have been from February 16th to July 15th. But again, it's new construction. It won't take that long for a house that's already. Yeah. Yes. It was just a few months because they were already, it's a new development, so they were already building houses in the area. So it was just happening that we went there and they were in the process of building. They had just pretty much had the foundation down. It was somebody else. Your legal documents at closing, because you're signing pretty much your life away, but you're closing, it's a big investment, so Naija may be able to explain that a little bit better, but anytime you close on a home with NAC or anyone else, you have to hire an attorney to make sure paperwork is correct. Okay.
And then they also do title search to make sure there is no liens on that property, and then if there's like additional owners, everybody got to sign. So that's the purpose of a title company. Thank you, Ms. Scott. Very different. Very different. New York is very different from North Carolina. I think we have some of the most strictest real estate laws ever. So basically, again, you just go through the whole process. We do some HUD counseling, see where you are income-wise, tell you how much you can afford based on income or debts. The lowest of the two is where we send you out shopping with. So we qualify you by payment, and then you go find a house within that payment. It's a partnership with your agent. So you and your agent go look at houses. And then you guys bring me back a contract and I get it processed. Yes, ma'am. Especially in North Carolina, you want an agent. It's just certain things that they put in contracts that you probably wouldn't know what it is, but your agent can review it and tell you and explain it better, especially, and also negotiating. So let's try to get over a lot. So your agent will be there. They can't be bullies. And we have one more testimony.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It might be afternoon, but good morning. My name is Charlene Poe, and I got a little different, this thing is woo. I got a little different testimony than most. First of all, I love to talk. Before I bought a house, if I knew you, I didn't speak, and till you spoke to me, and if I didn't know you, I didn't speak at all. So look at what NACA has done for me, okay? I don't have a problem with getting up, speaking before people now, especially when I'm talking about NACA. And I'm going to give you a little history, and you will understand. First of all, I was living in a car, and I went from a car to under housing authority. And I'm not knocking housing authority because they put a roof over my head. But in my heart, I always wanted a house. I wanted my own. Because if you ever lived or knew anybody live under housing, they do inspections. I kept a clean house, but I just didn't like the fact that somebody can come in when they want to, okay? And also, I had a child, a son, okay? First child, you know, with housing, you got to make sure them children don't write on the walls. They don't do this, they don't do that. I mean, you know, a child gonna be a child, okay? But like I said, I'm not knocking housing because it did help me. But when I heard about NACA, whoa, NACA will change your life, all right? NACA has truly changed my life. Before I heard about NACA, I wanted a house. Everybody was saying, you don't make enough money. You're a single parent. I hadn't even been on my job 5 years. You don't make the money. There's no way you can get a house. Not with my income, I couldn't, okay? So then, I just didn't give up. I just always wanted a house. So like I said, I heard about NACA. It blew my mind. I said, okay, I got to step out. This sounds too good to be true. I'm going to do what they say, and I'm just going to step out on faith. And guess what? The people that was telling me I could not buy a house, NACA said, yes, you can. NACA put me in a new construction. My mortgage was only $600 a month. My interest rate was 3.5, okay? NACA is a team. They back. Bruce, oh God. I did meet Bruce once, okay? He makes sure that everybody know what they doing. The whole team. NACA team members, raise your hand, everybody that worked for NACA. And it's a reason for me asking you to raise your hand. Okay, NACA is really good, okay? I don't work for NACA, I volunteer for NACA. But I'm known as Miss NACA because I talk about it so much, okay? The reason why I asked them to raise their hand is because when I talk about NACA, sometimes people be like, well, NACA do have some bad reviews about when we reach out to them, they don't contact us back right away. Did you see how many people raised their hand? Look how many people's in this room. And this is just one workshop. Don't give up. If you want your house, don't give up. It will happen. It happened to me. It can happen to you. I stepped out. I would love for y'all to step out. Because guess what? Because I took that step with a teenager, guess what? Not only did I own a house, my son is living in a NACA house. I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, porch. And why I say had, NACA helped me sell my house and they helped me get another one. They are gonna help me get another one. Okay, not only Do my son live in a NACA house? He live in a 4-bedroom. He got an even bigger house, bigger yard and everything. He even got the Cane Corso dog in the backyard. That's how big his backyard is. I don't know numbers like that, but I know what I see. And guess what? Because of NACA changed my life, and I saw it change my son's life, and what I love about it is that that's the only child I got, and I don't have to worry about him being put out. Because I tell him all the time, all you got to do, things happen, life happens. All you got to do is communicate. Communicate with NACA. You will not lose your home if you communicate with NACA. And guess what? My granddaughter is here. She's 3rd generation that's gonna have a NACA house, okay? I'm constantly talking to her about NACA so much she wanted to come to the workshop. It's real, y'all. Like I said, they got a team. Everybody know what they doing, okay? They got your back. I'm telling you, when you buy a house, you're talking about signing a whole lot of paperwork. Whoa, Jesus, I'm not trying to read all that. But I thank God that NACA had my back on down to inspectors, everything. But what you have to do, you got to do what they say. You got to listen at them. And if you call them and you can't reach them, call again. Email. Show up at the office. Whatever it takes to get your house. Okay? Because you can get your house. How long it take? Well, they probably would like for it to be 4 months, but it might be a little longer for the simple fact it all depends on you, okay? And why I say that, with me, they wanted my taxes, and I was like dragging my feet getting it to the office. But when I got it there, that was all I needed. So it's up to you on what you do, on how long it'll take. And also, things are different now. I live in Wake County. Wake County done went through the roof. I'm just going to be real with you. Like I said, I don't work for NACA, so I can be real with you. Guess what? Where I stay at, those houses, ranch-type houses that went for $100,000, okay, I was in a car accident a year ago. My neighbor house sold for, the lady that bought it paid $125,000. She kept it 6 months, sold it for $419,000. It's been a year ago. Now, within walking distance of my house, that house, ranch-type house, just sold for $700,000. The reason why I'm saying that is because, okay, I want a house in Wake County, but I gotta be real. I make a baloney salary. I don't make steak. I make a baloney salary, okay? So I gotta accept the fact that even though I would like to stay in Wake County, I have to move a little bit out of Wake County. But NACA gonna try to keep me as close as they can, but like I said, I have to be real. A lot of houses in Raleigh right now is going from $500,000 to $1 million. You don't believe me? Check it out. I don't make state salary. I can't afford those houses, so I have to be real, okay? But like I said, everybody in this room today can be a homeowner. And it's nothing like getting that key in your hand, walking into your own house. And see, and I'm like this, I be watching TV sometimes, I be listening, I be paying attention. If you are older, they be talking about, what is it, Medicaid and stuff. They be like, they check by your zip code. Come on now. You know what they doing. When they look up your zip code, okay, this area right here, they all homeowners. Over here, they like probably, you know, housing or whatever. Who you think gonna get the better? Come on now. All right, it's nothing like being a homeowner. When you get that key in your hand, it happened to me. You approved for everything. Lord knows my mailbox was full, okay? So it's nothing like owning your own. NACA locks in everything. When you're renting, your rent could go up every month. Every month. You might be paying $700 a day and paying $2,000 a couple of years. So it's nothing like being homeowner. And like I said, NECA has changed me. Boy, can I talk, okay? But y'all will see me around. I'm trying to be at NECA office a little bit more, planning on being there for life. So you could just come, ask them about me. I can tell you more about it, okay? Thank y'all.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you both for your testimonies. All right. Next slide, please. So now, matter of fact, another big round of applause for our testimonies. That was awesome. So now we will have our real estate department come up and give their presentation.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so this is a short little synopsis about the real estate department. With NACA, the great thing is we have in-house agents. We are full-time. We work right in the office with the mortgage counselors. Some in the Charlotte office, we have underwriters right in the office. So housing search assistance for members selling and building. Members decide which real estate agent you want to work with. That's your choice. You should do your research. Make sure you're picking someone that's going to represent you. There's several different types of real estate agents. There's a builder's agent, and they represent whom? There's a seller's agent, and they represent whom? Okay, and then there's a buyer's agent that represents who? You guys. You guys are going to be the buyers. So that's what you want. You want an agent that is a buyer's agent, okay? Because the seller's agent's going to make sure that the deal is good for the seller. The builder's agent is going to make sure that the deal is good for the builder. So you want an agent that's going to be representing you, that's going to negotiate on your behalf. So NACA agents, you want an agent that is knowledgeable. And what I mean by when I say knowledgeable is they know the area in which you want to purchase. I used to be an agent in New York, a realtor in New York. I can't go up there now and sell houses because it's so different. So you want to make sure you have an agent that's familiar with the area in which you want to purchase, because there's different types of terms for different areas of the state. So just make sure they're knowledgeable about your particular area. You want them to know if there's any building going on. You don't want to buy a house and then 2 months later, 2 feet of your backyard is being taken by the state because they're putting a highway in back of you. So it's important that you know that the agent knows what's going on in that area. You want someone that has some experience. NACA is a phenomenal program. It's a different program. As you see, you're going to be uploading a lot of documentation, whereas on the outside, the industry, you just go and you take your stuff to the mortgage counselor, and they take care of all the stuff for you. With NACA, you're going to be doing a lot of uploading yourself. So it is different. So you want someone that's familiar with our process. That's extremely important. You want somebody that has some experience with closing with the NACA transactions. You want someone that's available. Hypothetically, you found a house. I'm your agent. You found a house. You called me and you said, May, oh my God, I found the house of my life. When can we look at it? It's Sunday. And I tell you, well, you know what? I got a full-time job, so let me see. I probably can get to you by Thursday. Are you happy with May McKay? No, you fired. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I should be fired. Because what? I'm not available to you. So you want an agent that's available. You want an agent that it's going to be able to communicate with you. That's going to be, you don't want an agent that you call me about a property and it takes me a week to respond back to you. Because what happens to that property? More than likely it's going to be gone. Yeah, so you want, that's extremely important. What else is important for this market right now is a person that's not afraid to negotiate on your behalf. I love when sellers say, I ain't paying nothing, I ain't giving no money, it is what it is, da-da-da. Because in North Carolina, the housing, believe it or not, houses are as is. So the agents do have to do the negotiating, do have to tell the sellers, listen, The air conditioning unit or the condition of the roof, we need you to repair. You know, back and forth, back and forth. That's what it's about, negotiating. And if you can't get what you want, then we got to move on to the next property. You know, so you want somebody that has the capability of knowing the market and being able to negotiate on your behalf. Not intimidated, not scared to negotiate, okay? Communication. Communication is important. Like, I didn't talk to you for 4 days. You looking for another agent, right? Absolutely. So you want somebody that's going to communicate. I may not be able to talk to you right then and there, but I'm going to call you within a reasonable amount of time. That's feasible, okay? You call me on Sunday, I may not answer you on Sunday. I've been with NACA 5 years, so I ain't going to answer you. But most of the agents will. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I will definitely call you back. So I'm going to talk about fees a little bit. Everybody, you guys probably already know about the NAR settlement. The federal government decided that the real estate industry in a whole, not just North Carolina, all over the U.S., that there were some issues and they wanted it addressed. So now we have to be clear. The sellers have to be clear. The buyers have to be clear with who's going to be paying what. Is the seller going to be paying? Are we going to get a commission from the seller? Or are we going to be asking the buyers for the commission? So it's going to be based, honestly, on each property. We have to look at the listing, and then we'll be able to tell you guys, and you'll know ahead of time, way before we put you on the contract. You will know. Okay? Buyer's agency agreement. So that's just an agreement between you and I regarding my relationship. What your responsibility as a buyer, as a NACA member is, and what my responsibility as a real estate agent is. It's not a contract, it's just an agreement. So everyone is aware of what your responsibility is. If I'm sending you listings, one of your responsibilities is to look at the listings and to give me some feedback. Do you like the houses that are being sent? If you don't, let me know. We may have to curtail your desires, your wants, okay? So that's where the communication comes in. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, we're trying to get you a house, okay? Outside agents, if you're dealing with an outside agent, that's fine. The only requirement is we want them to take a class. It's mandatory that they take a class. It's a class on Tuesday. It's only 2 hours. We want them to be a little familiar with the NACA process and how to get you to the closing table, because that's the objective, right? Okay. Any questions about that slide? Next slide, please. Okay, NACA Real Estate Agent, which is finally called RED. So again, NACA will work with any real estate agent just as long as they're licensed. We could work with them. Let me tell you the advantage of working with an in-house agent. We're full-time. We work very closely with the counselors, with the underwriters. If there's an issue with your file, all I have to do is walk out of my office and walk into Nigel's office and say, listen, can you look at this file? Let's talk about it. Sometimes I have you on the phone, and the three of us are discussing the file, so it's really easy for us to resolve whatever the issue is. I'm not even going to talk about that yet until we get that settled. So we adhere to a high standards. What we try to do is we try to hire the best real estate agents that they are. I go through a lot of applications. I'm very picky about who we select to work with NACA. So, and we give them additional training regarding the NACA process. We give them the training regarding Bank of America. So when you're working with an agent, when we assign you an agent, just know that you have a good person that you're working with, a person that's very, very knowledgeable. We're considered experts in the field because we know the mortgage process just like you're going to know it. We know the mortgage process. We will help determine if you qualify for an area. It's not priority and non-priority anymore. It's low to moderate and high income earners. Now that's new for us because we just started that 2 days ago, I think. So again, we're located in the NACA office and we have direct access with all of the NACA staff. Any questions on this slide? Next slide, please. NACA in-house agents. So we help you prepare documents. You can come into the NACA office at any time and get assistance with your documentation. We prioritize counseling. I heard a couple of people say that they feel that they're ready to start the process. So what I want you to do is just write this number down, and at your leisure, I have to put on my glasses because I'm old now. So at your leisure, you can text this number and just put NACA in the subject. And then what's going to come up, there's going to be a questionnaire. It's called a survey questionnaire. And you're just letting us know if you're ready, and it's going to ask you 8 questions. And please be honest with the questions so we can know if we need to make you an appointment early. Once you upload all of your documentations, then we can get you an appointment almost by next week. Okay? So you have to tell us if you're ready. So the number is 804-531-9012. And again, in the subject of the text, you're just going to put NACA, N-A-C-A, and then that's going to bring you to a screen that's going to say Real Estate Survey Ready Now, and then you just answer the 8 questions. Okay, you can do that at any time. And lastly, did I finish with this? Oh, you need it again? I'm sorry. Okay, so the number again is 804-531-9012. And lastly, if there's anybody that has a home and you want to sell your home, what we try to do is we try to get you, because you can't own 2 homes with NACA, okay, because the primary reason for us to work with you is to get you to become homeowners, okay, and to actually live in that property. So if you have a home now and you want to sell it, let us know, because we only charge a low fee to sell it, because what we want to do is we want to sell it to another NACA member. So we want to keep it in the family. So if you do, please pick up a flyer on the way out. It's on the table if anybody is interested in selling their home. Any real estate questions? We're getting ready to take a break, so if you have any questions, you have 3 agents here, so just ask anybody in a red shirt. Yes? So what I generally do is I train all of the agents. So what I usually do is assign them based on the area in which you're trying to purchase in. Like Ebony, she takes care of the Fayetteville area. The gentleman over there with the kangaroo hat, Mr. Hector, he does the Greensboro, Winston-Salem. So it depends on what area you're trying to purchase. Any other questions for real estate? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let me talk to you as soon as we take the break so I can explain how that's done. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would transfer you to our Charlotte office, and you would work with one of my Charlotte agents. So let me talk to you when we do a break and tell you how that's broken down. Yes. So the only way you could, I'm gonna let Nigel take care of that, but if you own a home right now, you have to sell it prior to your closing, unless it's an inherited property. Then they will allow you to keep it. But if it's not, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to sell it. Because you're buying home through NACA to live in, to be your house. So I'm gonna let Nija talk to you about that. So she'll talk to you about that. Yes, one more question, and then what we could do is we're getting ready to take a break. So any real estate questions, just come to the left, and then we'll address those for you. Yes, ma'am. It depends. We just had a lot of Achieve the Dream events, so we have a lot of members that we're working with. I think it's about 25 people, 30 people in here. So it depends. Normally, we could have about working with 25 members, but we may not be working with all of those members at the same time because you may be ready to start your home buying process, but this person that I'm assigned to work with also is not ready. So you're not working with all of them at the same time. Does that answer your question? Okay.
What time is it? Can somebody give me a time? What time is it? 11:20. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. 10-minute break? Yep, we're going to take a 10-minute break. So just make sure we're back here. She said it was what? 11:10. You said 11:10. 11:20. So 11:30. I hope to see all of your beautiful faces back in your seats. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. But again, if you have any real estate questions, you can see our agents. And if you have any NACA general questions, you can come see the people in the blue shirts. Happy break.